Right, my name's Alistair and I'm a mediumistic life coach, tarot reader. I muck about with psychometry, building psychometry and items. I'm also a Reiki master. And this is Penny.
Hi, I'm Penny. I'm an empath. I'm a doula. I'm a dowser. And lots of other things. And I do readings too. Should we turn that off? It's a little bright.
Got a bit of a white out.
Yeah.
Let's just drop it slightly.
It's a little bit.
Ah, there we go. Maybe we'll look at it a bit
It
more.
was a little bit bright. As it gets darker outside, it will dim in
Just
here
wait
a
for that feed to
tad.
catch up. Make sure that looks okay. But yeah, I think people are joining us. So welcome. We're going to talk tonight briefly about what our week's been like. And then we're going to go... Caught you out then, didn't
I wasn't listening.
I? Then we're going to talk about what we'd call natural ghost hunting. So where we're using natural abilities to feel or connect with spirit within a building to actually connect and do a ghost hunt. And we're going to go through the kind of different sorts of things we've done, things that we would try, and our opinions. And they're only our opinions on them. And then a bit later on, we're going to talk about curses and hexes. And if we get chance, and if we're in a good mood, and people put enough love hearts and show us enough love, we'll perhaps do some cards as well and give you all guys kind of a sense of what next week's going to be and what you perhaps need to prepare for, or things like that. Have you found us on there yet? Or oh yeah, we're there.
Yeah.
So put a wave in there or tap the screen and put some love hearts up. Just let us know you've arrived. I can see Leah's just arrived and Marie's just arrived. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
You haven't done that for a while, actually.
I know I haven't done it for a while, but I thought I should because Leah writes it as if I've said it.
So yeah, let us know what week you've had as well. Hey, Bryony's there. Could you see
Hi, Bryony.
waves coming up? So yeah, let us know what kind of week you've had. My week personally has been a bit weird. I treated myself to a new gift. This is going to come out backwards, isn't it, on there?
Yeah.
Didn't think that through, did I?
No.
Right, it's the book Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious World. And it was the first book I remember reading as a kid that kind of got me interested in unanswerable questions. But since then, it's about 20, 30 years on, most of the stuff was in the book has been debunked now as fake or phony or it was staged. So it was funny. So I've been having a scan read through that, kind of trying to read it, remember what it was like when I read it as a kid, kind of amazed by the power of crystal skulls or crop circles and things like that. Because I think that's cool. Free thinking. So yeah, that was my week. Other than that, I've been playing God of War on PlayStation.
We say hello to you if we can see your name, but it doesn't always show us your name. So hi Michael, hi Lisa, and hi Anna.
Hey.
If there's anybody we've missed, don't blame us. We're doing our best.
No, I'm glad you can join us. If you've got any questions, by all means post them in the comments. I'm going to hand over to Penny now.
I do wish you wouldn't.
Yeah, well, I'm going to, because you're now going to talk about natural ghost hunting.
I've had a very busy week. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, sorry. You know, you've got some good news as well, though.
I have got some good news. Well, I'm
Hi,
kind
Lisa.
of waiting for the rest of the paperwork to go through before I get overexcited.
Oh, yeah, perhaps not jinx it.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I'll release some news next week. Okay, so forget that. Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird, busy, hectic, emotional, some very bizarreness going on this week. Sadly, a relative's cat had to be put down at 10 o'clock at night. Unexpected illness, which was very traumatic, surprisingly so. Anyway, on that cheery note, what are we talking about?
Natural ghost hunting.
Natural ghost hunting. Okay.
So the methods you use.
Yeah. So I'm very old school with ghost hunting, mainly because I am a bit naff with technology, as you've probably noticed that it takes me a while to work out what's going on. on the computer. And I certainly can't, I can do it, but I can't do it at speed. So for ghost hunting, I just lean on whatever natural abilities I've got and whatever I've got around me that I can use that doesn't require a charger or a power pack, if that makes sense. So the first thing that I use is my gift. And my gift initially is as an empath. So I'm clairsentient, and it is about when I go to somewhere and I pick up energy or feeling from the building, from anybody who's present in the building. I kind of have to, it's something that I do internally, so don't ask me how I do it, but I focus to the energy within the room rather than the energy and the emotions that the people are bringing with them. Because ghost hunts and investigations go well when there are lots of excitable people zhuzhing up the energy, if that makes sense. So whether they're excited to be there, hi Marion, hi Amy Jane.
Don't worry, Marion, you only missed the intro.
You've missed nothing. You know how we waffle at the beginning. So yeah, whether that energy is really good, excitable energy because people are keen and excited, or if it's nervous energy or fearful energy, energy is energy, and that picks up the atmosphere. So whatever's within the atmosphere is then heightened by that energy coming in. So it amplifies it. So I'm trying to focus in on what is within the building or the environment I'm in, rather than the people that I'm with, if that makes sense. It's not very technical. It is completely natural and old-fashioned. So clairsentience is the first thing that I would use. Then there is clairaudience, and to a point, most people can pick up sounds. So that's about hearing. So can you hear knocking or movement or breath? Somebody who's breathing is quite loud. Again, not the people that you're with, the energies that are in the room, if they are physical energies, if they are people, because it isn't always that. The next step on from that, so in those cases, if the energy is really good and I'm really attuned and really focused, then I pick up on the voices and people will talk to me, and it's kind of like a conversation, a radio playing in my head that I generally respond to in my head. I'm working to do it more out loud because obviously it can be quite confusing for somebody if I'm just standing there and I look like I'm completely zoned out, and actually I'm not. I'm having a really energetic, enthusiastic conversation in my head.
I'm like that most days.
They're different voices.
Oh.
Don't listen to those.
I used to have a problem with the voices in my head, but it's all right. We're all okay now.
The next step is clairvoyance, and that is about what you can see. Can you physically see a person or an animal on occasion? So that is about the sight part of it. So those are the three stages naturally that I will bring with me. I don't have to plug them in. We are the power pack to our energies. We don't need to plug into a charger. To help me with that focus, or if there is a lot of energy and I'm finding it hard to focus in one place, then I rely on my lovely rods. As I use things, I'm then going to put them down over there. So if I move away, it's because I've filled the desk in front of us with really noisy stuff tonight to show you. So these are my rods. I love my rods. They are fixed rods. The only reason why they have ribbons on them, it isn't for ribbon magic. It is purely so I can identify them quickly as mine. So if I went to an investigation and lots of people had rods and they were similar to these, then I would instantly know these were mine. Not that I particularly put them down and wander away. So these help me with, I've explained this a few times now, with yes and no answers, and also to point me in the direction of the energy that I need to go in. So it is important to know that I am doing my utmost not to affect these physically myself. So they are resting on my index fingers and the base is resting on my palm. And my thumbs are just there if they start swinging about like crazy, that I can just lock onto them and stop them.
And there's no string, it's like magic. Sorry.
Oh, the laptop's levitating. Not really. So they are mine and they are fixed rods. You can also get rotating barrel rods. These ones...
Seconds. Right, there we go.
It
Excellent.
appears that we were affected, and
I think we're back.
I'm really hopeful that that wasn't the rods, because I've got the other two sets to show you, so I'm not going to point.
Just going to wait and make sure the screens catch up and everybody catches up. Sorry, we lost you there.
For anybody we lost, we don't know what happened. If it was the lovely spirit that affected us, please,
excellent.
Please, can you wait until a bit later? Oh, the picture's a little bit dodge.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit ropey. Just give it a minute.
Bear with. Hi, Rose. I did say hi, Michael.
Just bear with us.
I think it's all right now. It's all right now. It's just catching up.
Yeah, there we go. I think we're back.
So apologies. We don't know if that was the spirit that did that. Or the spirit of BT. Okay, so no, and
not
a
this
banana,
week, Anna.
not this week. We've got a plan this week.
Good call, possibly for next week though.
Yeah, maybe. What's that say? I thought it was your internet.
I thought it was
can't
our internet.
Right.
We're away from our internet. It was rubbish. We're not sure what happened there. That's the first time it's ever completely paused. No, we're back. What's going on?
Oh. Right, it's coming and going this evening, so
I don't know
you
what
just
it
have
is.
to bear with. We'll try and drag the conversation between each gap and then we won't talk.
Yeah, as it's happening
like it
though,
goes
if
off.
you see anything in the screen, I'm going to now look for it to see if I see any orbs or anything. I don't
Yeah,
feel
because we have had
anything, I've got
weeks
to be
where we've
honest.
had lots of orbs. So I'm not going to point the rods anymore at the phone,
Yeah, let's get
just in
let's
case.
get the rods out of the way.
So these are just metal barrel rods. In theory, they are easier to use in that you can't, in theory, physically affect them. However, you can't control them either, and if there's a strong breeze or you do move slightly, they do go a bit crazy, so I don't particularly like those. Let's get rid of those. And then we have the plastic barrels. Same thing as the metal ones, that they rotate. I don't like them either. Don't even know what happened. So dowsing is something, I don't know what that says.
Oh, don't worry about that bit.
Oh, right.
That's,
Okay.
that's a note for me.
Okay, so so ordinarily I would just use myself and my rods. On occasion, I usually wear this, to be fair, just because it's clearing energy. I will take a crystal, but actually it's designed to be used for pendulum dowsing.
That's my one.
I'm not very au fait with pendulum dowsing. I have done. Why has it got to be in front of my face?
Sorry.
Good
The voices told me to do it.
Well, I didn't hear them.
Doesn't mean they're not here.
So I don't tend to use a pendulum. And that, in fact, if I'm in the dark, I'm not going to be able to see if it moves anyway.
That's very true.
So let's put that out of the way. And yeah, yours is a different kind, and they can be made of whatever you like, to be honest, because it's in theory, the energy that's moving it, rather than your thought
It's just for
and
aesthetics.
physicality and intention.
I'll tell you why I bought that one. It's that colour. It's purely because it's not pink, it doesn't look girly. That's the only reason. I nearly dropped it in that drink then.
Don't do that.
No, let's not do that.
Okay, so natural ghost hunting is more about that, and it is more about the just calling out and seeing what responses you get, or waiting to be physically affected. There is something that's called human pendulum, where in theory you stand still, you close your eyes, somebody calls out to the spirit, and you are physically moved by the spirit. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think there is a large level of manipulation that can happen with that, and some of it can be subconscious, that you are so desperate for something to happen, to be moved, for your arm to be raised, that you will do that without consciously realising that you're forcing that movement and that you're not actually being affected by the spirit at all. So I'm not very comfortable with human pendulum, and I never have been.
Couldn't that be said for all methods though?
It could be.
It kind of leads on to my point within this. The other aspects of kind of ghost hunting is validating the information.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where it gets a little bit confusing for me, because you've got kind of two schools of thought. You've got kind of natural, this is what I'm feeling. We can perhaps validate some of it through historical records, but sometimes we can't. It doesn't mean it's not true, it's not happened. We just can't validate it.
It just means it's not written.
Yeah, it's not been written down or dealt with by somebody to record it as a moment. So we sort of move into the more technical aspects, and these are all things I've done. Sort of voice recorders. You've got digital voice recorders, or you've got, which I've called magnetic. It's like,
Analog.
yeah, but is it?
They're analog tape.
Right. Okay. The reason I say it's magnetic tape though, which can be affected allegedly by spirits. But I don't know about digital. I don't know what the effects of that are.
The theory is that the spirit is communicating at a frequency that we can't hear, but can be picked up by a recording device.
Right, cool, okay. And filming equipment, exactly the same. So you've got kind of different, you've got digital cameras, or you've got your kind of traditional SLRs or film cameras. I don't know if they still do tape cameras. We tried to
That's
use
what
ours.
we've got.
Yeah, we tried to use it, the battery went flat.
And it's got night vision and everything on it. But yeah, the battery went flat. I recorded approximately 11 minutes of an hour.
Before I move on to the next bit of recording, so let's just take into consideration tape recorders and video recorders. Yes, we know the ways we can manipulate and Photoshop stuff nowadays is dead easy to make something look like what you want it to look like. But they can also potentially be affected by what I class as the more moving parts something has, the more things you potentially can blame. So if there is a voice recorder, did it pick up on something else? Is it being affected by something else? Or is it being affected by the spirit? As I'm walking around a place and I go, oh, I can feel some energy over there, and I go towards it, I don't think I'm being affected. But if I look around the wall and see, I don't know, a power station for National Grid or something, you kind of go, all right, it must be that then. But do you get what I mean? There's only one moving part, there's only me. So there's only one thing to validate.
Okay.
But once you've put a moving like voice recorder or a digital recorder or film recording into the equation, now you've got all of these little bits that you can start to go, well, it could be that, it could be interference on the tape, it could be picking up on a radio station, it could have been picking up on a taxi service coming by, that might have been a bit of refraction on the back of the camera. What kind of camera was it? Do you know what I mean? All these things start to add up.
And with that as well, when there's when somebody says, I've heard a voice there, you are unintentionally putting the thought in everybody else's head that they've heard a voice as well. So you could say, my name's John. I heard it say, my name's John. Let's play it back and listen. You've already told everybody what they need to hear.
Yeah, and that's where there's too many moving parts in the equation. If, however, you sort of stand there and you've got a medium that asks the question and you hear something at that time come straight through, but then it doesn't appear when you play it back, that I would stand as more credible, because it's not going to leave a digital or metallic print on the tape because it doesn't physically exist here.
Yeah.
This is where I can't kind of get it. I want to understand it. I've tried watching lots and lots of videos on frequencies, and this is, in my head, how I've figured it out. In the middle of that page is a little black dot. What you're going to do now is metaphorically throw a net out and cast it straight over that dot. If it just perchance one thread touches that dot, you'll get a moment of something spiritual. But every other time, that dot will go straight through the holes of every single net and frequency that's cast out there.
Okay.
But that's just my crude way of trying to rationalise it in my head.
Okay.
Because when I've heard things that, like radio scanners, you could do exactly the same principle asking a question with a book, because it's full of words.
Yes.
Radio is full of words and interference and noise that's constantly blowing out. So as it's scanning a station and picks up on something, as you suddenly go, "Bosh, there it is," you end up with the word "wash." Do you get what I mean? 'Cause
Yes.
in that instance, it's just that split second that you're looking for.
And I get that, and then there are situations where I've been where the use of that technology just boggled the mind of how coincidental it was.
Oh, no, I know. And that's where I think it's that dot touching the edge, just catching it.
Okay, so should we do a couple of examples of them?
How do you mean?
So when
Put me on the spot.
we did no. So when we did,
I need to slow down and get calm. I'm getting excited.
all right, calm down. So when we did the live stream seance and we did the I can't remember what it's called. Again, forgive me because I'm not technologically minded for this stuff. Where we all held on. It was it was the spirit aerial or something, and we all held on, and the radio was playing. And flicking through the channels, it said at least 4 times in the same voice on different channels, "wait." But it said it 4 times, and that was on multiple channels.
So in that instance, because there's the multiple, you can validate that as it happened.
Yes.
Definitely.
However, I've got a better one, and the better one was I went to Tetton Hall Towers. I don't know if anybody who's watching's been there.
If you've not fell asleep and you're still there, tap the like button.
Or the
If you've got any questions, ask away.
There's a place called Tetton Hall Towers, and I went there on an investigation, and they had something along the lines of a spirit box. It was really loud. The was way too loud. And there was about 10-15 of us in a room, just all sitting in the dark, in silence, while this thing was going we were the only people upstairs. I believe there was another group, but they were quite far away, the other side of the building. It's quite a big building. Through the spirit box, well, we were calling out questions. We said, "Where are you?" And clear as day through the equipment came, I'm outside the door." We all kind of went, because it was really clear, and then the door went really loud. So the two people who were closer to the door immediately leapt up and opened the door to see if there was anybody out there on the other side, and there wasn't anybody there. So that for me was a really good communication, because there wasn't anybody outside the door. There was no way that anybody could have got away from outside the door, because it was like a really long corridor. in the short space of time that they jumped up and opened the door, you wouldn't have been able to get away from the door if you'd knocked it. But it was definitely the door. Or was it? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a sound that coincidentally happened just after we all, in mass hysteria, heard the same thing. And it was just a random bang that we all went, what?
Bryony says, I would have had a heart attack.
There was quite a few people that were quite unnerved by it.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying any of the electronic methods are wrong or anything like that. I'm not 100% convinced that there's a technological answer to this question.
No.
But I also believe that everything's impossible until it's not.
Yeah.
So at one point we will figure it out. But I have an element of trepidation with that.
I know you do. And
Because
that's good. We should keep in it a piece of scepticism, because that keeps you always looking for the validation of it, being able to prove what happens as well.
Yeah, no.
Not just being a blind believer that believes everything.
I know it's there, but there's only certain points or times or where the frequencies kind of marry up and sit, that it all kind of lines up and you get some information, or you get to talk with somebody, or you feel that energy. It's kind of colliding of time and energy, not just, oh, I'm a medium. So you just kind of sit in a room and go, oh, I've got people coming round. And
I don't ever call myself a medium.
No, I can't.
Just
I can
large,
now. I used to be
occasionally
large.
extra large. No, I think spirit communicator is probably better, or a sensitive. I think because people go, oh, you're a medium, talk to my nan. Yeah, that's how it works.
Excellent.
It's just bizarre but true.
Did your nan have something to say? Probably not.
Maybe she didn't like you and she doesn't want to come back and talk to you. She was glad to see the back of you. You never know. Along them lines, I'll tell you a really good story, a really bizarre story, but a really good story. And it links to technology. It was at a place called The Feathers in Ludlow. Huge, really super old, beautiful hotel. Really bizarre inside. It's like a rabbit warren up and downstairs to find your room. But did an investigation there, and we did the natural dowsing and the pendulum and those kind of things. And then there was an element of...
Are you trying to multitask? Because it ain't working.
Shut up. Then there was an element of the technological side of it. There was also communication with glass, which that's a story for another day. But for technology, K2 meters, where the lights flash when there's communication. And I've had responses on those when I wasn't anywhere near them and they were far side of the room, and I was calling out and getting the response with the lights. So at that particular place, everybody was given a K2 meter and then encouraged to swap them between you. And there was a huge circle. So everybody did. We all swapped them. And then we put them on the floor in front of us and called out. When one of the devices, the lights went all the way across to the peak, from green, amber to red, so the whole thing was lit up. We then asked for them to affect a different device, and they did.
Dun, dun, dun.
And they did at one point, in order around the circle, the devices lit up.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. But
K2s are a bit weird though, because they are affected by a lot of things.
They are affected by a lot of things. In that case, we was in a massive medieval hall. One of the rooms is a medieval hall. There wasn't anything electronic in there at all, and we were all standing, and the devices were on the floor. So unless somebody was underneath with something electrical running around, setting it off, I don't know.
Here's another theory for you. We keep inventing things, or we try to use recording methods for frequencies that we use and try to get it to scan between them. What if we're already being bombarded with an alien frequency already that we have absolutely no way of measuring because it's taken so many thousands of light years to bombard us with it, and that's what we end up picking up?
You've gone off on the bizarrest
I haven't.
tangent.
What I've kind of done is, if you kind of look at all the frequencies that we have, just all fit into one box. The frequencies we're looking for sit outside that box. But
Okay.
But I don't know how you. I'm not a physician. I don't know how you invent a frequency. Do you know what I mean?
Physicist, you mean?
Oh, whatever it is. I don't know how it is, but the frequencies that we're looking for to measure are just the ones that we've made and used ourselves.
Okay.
As another interesting little fact, we use fibre optics, which is glass. Mediums have been using glass crystal balls
yes, glass.
for years. Exactly the same principle, movement of energy, but Virgin use it to move internet. It's the same thing, it's just glass. Sorry for you people with glass.
Wasn't even thinking about that, yeah.
But yeah, it just was a coincidence
Southerners.
of things that I've noticed. But what do you think? We've been chatting for a while now.
Okay, so one more thing on the technological side of it. I downloaded an app just because I wanted to see, because I'd seen some teams use these things and go, I've got the thermal imaging on.
Oh, on a mobile.
And they haven't at all, because you have to buy something that adapts the camera for it to do thermal imaging. So you are looking, you're not looking at us at all, you're looking at a random Facebook page. Right, so you are looking in theory at us now through thermal imaging, and no, you're not. You're looking at us through luminescence.
Yeah.
So when you download these apps, if any of you are going out there, goes tenting and going, oh, it's a thermal imager. No, it isn't, because what it's doing is looking for light source energy and then converting it into the pretty colours. That's us.
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's not the same. I'm just saying, be wary. And there are lots of disreputable companies out there with apps, and apps that you have to pay for, that talk to a ghost. Yeah, no.
On
There's a
that, with
couple.
thermal imaging, so thermal imaging cameras get used on ghost hunts. The only thing you're going to prove there is a cold spot or a hot spot.
What's a hot spot not?
Prizes.
Not a good spot.
You never get that right. But that's my point, is that doesn't prove the presence of a spiritual energy. That proves the presence of a temperature change.
Don't mind me.
That's what I'm saying. On that instance, you're tracking temperature, and yes, sometimes people have said that temperatures drop when spirits are around.
Temperature drops because the movement of energy shifts to a particular point where the spirit is, and therefore the movement of energy drops the temperature.
Okay, so it's not something that's been input there by filmmakers and writers and
No,
book
because I've
writers
experienced it
Right,
on multiple occasions. Had I not, I would have probably have been sceptical like you, but I have experienced extreme changes of temperature.
Yeah, so have I. But not in an instance where I would equate it to an energy caused it.
Oh, well, I have, because it's happened instantaneously, that the energy, the temperature has dropped significantly. I've had the communication, and then the energy's moved off and the temperature's increased again. That's a good thing to have.
Be careful showing your phone. Your bank card is in your case.
Could you see that? There's no money in there. If you see my bank card, please send money.
Yeah.
Thanks, though. Yeah, so...
Oh, quick little interlude. Thank you for those that watched my little video on Wednesday. Penny is planning to do her solo paid
Reading
reading room possibly next Friday,
Yeah.
if we can get the event and everything sorted out. And I'll be there on Wednesday for my chat about, what am I doing this week? Emotions. Emotions and men. That should be fun.
Okay. So
Anyway, so what about you guys? Sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to see whether you guys have got any questions about what we've said. Any experiences similar? Have you experienced where you kind of know there's a spirit present and there is a physical temperature change?
Yeah.
I've never linked the two as an actual because of the spirit. It's just generally because I'm outside in a cold building that's generally derelict.
Yeah, you haven't done the indoor stuff. No.
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 Oh, we've been interrupted apparently.
Oh. No, it's back on.
I think we're still here. So yeah, sorry. Just wanted to check with you guys that you like the content, if everything's going okay. If you've got any questions about what we've said. If you haven't got any questions, then we were either so concise.
It's not about whether you like the content or not. It's about information sharing. As I warn you, every week we will just keep talking at you until you communicate back with us.
Or I have to stop to take a breath.
Yeah. Okay. So moving away from that, so we use natural techniques are easier, but there are pros and cons to that, and there are unscrupulous people that will pretend. Is that the word?
Yeah.
They will portray that they're having experiences that they're maybe not. Some of the paid investigations that you go to, you are looking for experience. You are looking for something to happen to you. You've paid for an experience. Unfortunately, the spirit is not a circus. They don't perform to demand, if that makes sense. I know that a comment's come up, but I can't read it.
Yeah,
so
it's
have
Lisa.
To bear with.
I'll start it. It says, what's the difference between ghost hunting, going looking for ghosts you don't know, and those meetings where people da, 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 and then we need to...
Right, because it's not... I'm going to have to put my glasses on now. Apologies. Or not. Or my computer's just going to have a meltdown. It's probably because we've got all this equipment nearby. Right. Let's go down. So, difference between ghost hunting, looking for ghosts you don't know, and meetings where people go and speak to past over loved ones, usually in pubs. Pay £15 and get a lunch too. Bonus! I have done those readings, and I have been for those readings. When you go ghost hunting, it is about a shared experience. It is about going to a property that historically it is documented that there are lots of things that have occurred there. When you go to speak to a communicator and you are looking for contact with particular loved ones, it is about them focusing. So if you remember what I said at the beginning about focusing out everybody else and focusing on what is left in the room that's linked to the building, is residual energy, is spirits that haven't moved on, that are linked to the place. The next step is to focus in on particular people that are connected to somebody. I can't do it like that. I find that really difficult, and that's probably because I'm an empath and I'm picking up, because I'm focusing on that person and they're saying, can you talk to my dad? In those cases, I am empathically linked to that person, and my focus is more around them than the person they're reaching out for. If sometimes it works, sometimes they come through, and sometimes it doesn't, because I can't focus out everybody else. It's quite difficult. And then there are people that just do it as a way to earn money, and they will give you the same information. Every single one of you, you will have an individual reading, and they'll give you. It was a really big thing actually in the late 90s that you had psychic parties in your house. I know, I had them, and got quite upset by them. That the information they gave was exactly the same, and at the end of the reading they'd say, and here's a list of numbers. Now I'm not saying they're lottery numbers, but they might be, but these are the numbers I've got linked to you. So everybody instantly got 6 numbers at the end of their reading. They talked about a particular colour vehicle, so it was a white van, a red car, a blue car, a lorry, but every single one of us had exactly the same information given to, or format of information given to us, which wasn't particularly accurate, to be fair. So after she'd gone, after she took all our money and run away again, I read everybody's cards instead and got some really clear information come through.
I'll tell you what makes it even more difficult now. You book an appointment with said psychic, and they can now spend any time between your phone call and the appointment trolling through your social media.
Yeah.
They will find you on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Twitter. They'll do everything. They will find the information that they need if they need to manipulate it to do that. Not many will go to that extent, and the reason I say this is because there was a thing with audiences where people would buy their ticket for a show, and then investigators would break down outside, get the people, what are they called? People that come there to view it. The audience. God, my brain went completely dead then. They would visit the homes of the audience members at random and accidentally break down outside their house, so they had to go in and use their phone, and they would take notes.
Listen outside the toilets or in the bar, because people tend to talk about, what are you here for?
Or you get a questionnaire as you're walking in. Who would you like to speak to? How long have they been gone? Have you got a message to pass on? It's
sad to say, because I really liked her, but Psychic Sally on the road, her team got caught doing that, reading people outside of one of the events. Hasn't stopped people going to her, and I know that she read for the royal family amongst quite a lot of other celebrities, to be fair. But Lisa, I like your comment. The meal we went for, the lady said, I see a driveway, it has a car in it. Cracking.
She'd have said giraffe, that would have been slightly more interesting.
Yeah.
But I personally don't think our industry is any worse than any other. You can go to the wrong mechanic, you can go to the wrong plumber, the wrong electrician. There's all kinds of
rogue traders in every trade.
Exactly, and it's just that our industry is one that's quite easy. If you've got a bit of showmanship,
cold reading,
and you sort of go down the more magic, human manipulation side of things, then you probably
and the hypnosis and the mentalism and all of that. As long as you are upfront and say, this is for entertainment and I'm doing this to prove that I'm not real and other people aren't real, that's an assumption that everybody is not real. Everybody is putting it on. That I have an issue with, but it's like every other business, every other trade, there are rogue traders. For sure.
But I'd like to work with somebody who's got one of these radios that's scanning all the frequencies, and I'd like to know more about the frequencies it does, how quickly it does it, what's the voice recognition that's on there, is there any software processing the frequencies being scanned? Do you know what I mean? There's
Why do you want to do that?
Because I want to know if we can physically do it. Yeah, I need to understand if I'm completely off the mark with what I'm thinking. But how do I explain it? When you said earlier about how you, when you enter a room, you can kind of, you feel them there and they step forward. Is that how you did it?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I just suddenly feel like I know I'm not alone in the room.
Okay.
And to deal with it, I have to share the space and stand in the energy. I don't necessarily hear words, I feel thoughts which include words.
Okay.
That's the only way I can describe it. So how do I describe the frequency that I'm tuning into?
I don't know. You'd have to contact the, I can't remember what they're called now. There's a Psychical Society. Because they do the investigating.
There's going to be a Google
of
page
mediums.
somewhere in them.
There is. I used to get psychic news every week, newspaper. But they stopped doing it and it went online.
But even that said, like I said, I don't personally think the frequency we're looking for has anything to do with the frequencies that we know or understand as digital or analogue, radio signals, microwaves. There's just so many different things I don't think we're even near.
No. No.
To get anything concise. We're back to my dot and you're trying to fish for it with a net.
Maybe. Anyway, that's the outpouring of our head on those subjects.
Yeah. Okay, I don't disbelieve any of them.
No, prove to me that you have that ability, validate it.
I just think we rely on science. Why do we rely on science for everything? Yes, it does some good, does a lot of good stuff, but science has also done some really bad shit as well. And it's learned some bad things by doing bad things. So it's, in this instance, it's kind of sit on the fence. You don't have to believe one or the other in this instance, because neither can really kind of categorically go, there you go, there's the evidence.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we should change the subject.
Yeah, something fun.
Because the time's gone.
What time is it now?
Almost, is that almost?
About 10:02, coming up
Yeah.
to. Well, shall we leave curses and hexes for next week then?
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Oh, the lady who did my Reiki training told me my stuff from my dad. He passed when I was 15, so I've not spoken about him for...
It's a secret.
You have one job.
Oh, it's not me. It's technology. Right. Not spoken about him for years. She got his accent 1,000%. She wouldn't know. She wouldn't have known if she hadn't channeled. We just couldn't shut him up afterwards. I'm antisocial with the living, let alone the dead. So I'd not asked to speak to anybody. Fair enough.
No, but it sounds like you spoke to a genuine one, which is good.
And if that contact bought you peace and you are comfortable that that person was genuine and gave you genuine information, it was during your Reiki training. They wasn't getting any gain out of that at all. As long as you got something positive out of that, that's not an issue.
I'll give you an example of where I had 2 palm readings, which I thought were complete baloney. Went to the first palmist, and she said about sort of a lifeline. I won't go into too much detail, but she came to kids and said I got 3 kids. And I'm sat there thinking, I ain't got 2. But, oh, fair enough. Get to the next palmist about a year and a half, 2 years later. It's a different palmist at Nottingham Goose Fair. Same palmist, not same palmist, different palmist, but she says the same thing other than one slight detail. That I've got 2 girls and 1 boy. So I'm like, there's 2 saying this now. It can't be possible. And I'll tell you how it can't be possible. Because by the time she'd done the second reading, I'd had the plumbing disconnected. So I knew there couldn't be anything else. I then get to the third palm reader about a year later, again at the Goose Fair, but it was a different reader. And coincidentally, she said the same thing, except she said the life of one was short, as in the boy. I hadn't said anything about the previous readings, nothing like that at all. In the interim, I had a conversation with the person I was with at the time, and I was unaware that there was technically 3. So although the first 2 readings I got, well, all 3, I thought they were just literally giving me nonsense information, bit of a cold reading. It was fun, it was cool. You go into the caravan, there's a little gypsy sort of logic. That aspect, that's all I took it as just entertainment. But then to have it confirmed later that all 3 were correct, was interesting.
2 in life and 1 in spirit.
Yeah.
So, that was cheery, babe.
No, I wasn't cheery.
Do you want us to throw a couple of cards out? We've literally got 9 minutes left. This is probably going to be the last time we do this. Once I've set up the reading room, we're probably not going to read on here anymore. So if you want a quick,
I might.
super quick reading,
If I want to pull my cards out, I'll pull them out.
put a heart.
Can't tell me what to do.
Put a heart in the comments. Put it as a comment. If you put it up so it just bounces repeat up the screen, we won't see who it's from. We haven't missed any comments this evening, have
I
we?
don't think so.
No. I don't think we have. Does nobody want... somebody's putting hearts, but I can't see who.
Oh, they're the ones that went up the screen.
They're the ones that went up the screen.
I don't know.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We did a really random thing last week and said about blue hearts, and Marian's got a heart.
Marion's got a heart.
Everybody's got a heart. That's a horrendous thing to say.
Yeah. I was reading Marion's posts about agility runs. Well done, Marion.
Excellent.
Bobby's getting there.
Focus.
She shows potential.
Focus. And Bryony. Who are you going to do? Are you going to do Marion?
I don't mind.
We'll do. These are going to be super short because we're kind of tight on time now.
All right, Marion. Focus for next week. So I don't do future cards, but we'll do an energy kind of preparation.
Ooh.
It's all wands, so it's positive.
Who's the man?
Don't know.
Did you find the love of your life at the dog show, Marion?
You have to give me a minute on that. That doesn't. The 3 cards are not making sense. It's 3 different pieces of information. One is. This is. I tell you what, this could be. Actually, is where I'm potentially getting my thinking. I know who Marion is clouding how I'm reading this. So I'll read it as it stood, but I find it quite confusing. It was the Queen of Wands. Now, although sitting over a cat, it's about dominion over an animal. So I immediately thought, oh, that's good. That's Marion getting back into agility, confidence, control of an animal. But then we got the next wand that came out, which showed a bit of frustration, a bit of an argument, but linked to the same thing because it's the wand the same. The next card that came out, which I wanted to help me to validate what was going on and kind of put it into context, indicates a man travelling towards you, potentially travelling over water. It's not bad, but there is somebody travelling to you with either over water, some way of getting to you. So I don't know if any of that makes sense, but that's the 3 cards. Marion's put no.
No, that's because I said, did you meet somebody at the dog show?
Oh, fair
okay.
enough.
I
So,
pulled
yeah, just let me know
cards
if that
for you as well, Marion,
makes sense.
and I got the same. I got a male. There's a strong male presence, and it is linked to finances, and it's not going to be something that's super quick. But there is going to be a shift in your finances. It is going to be an improvement, and it is linked to a male. There is a male coming into your life, or is at the moment around the periphery of your life, and he's going to move towards you and include you, and it's going to improve your finances somehow. But I'm getting that it's not immediate, but I am also getting somebody who's travelling to you. That was interesting. Getting a lot of wand cards there for you. So, are you doing Bryony?
Well, I pulled 3 cards while I was thinking of Bryony's name because you'd done Marion's. and it came out as the Hangman. So for whatever reason you've decided to stall, or it's not by your choice, but something has stalled your efforts. It's showing me a lack of confidence, but also questioning of ability. Again, Bryony always gets really kind of girl powery cards. The third card that came out for you, Bryony, was the art card, which generally to me tells me about somebody who needs to follow their heart, not necessarily their head. So you're kind of this stalematey kind of, I don't know what you're waiting for. Whatever it is you're waiting for, you're either in control of the wait or you're not in control of the wait. But I don't know. That's all the info I can get on that. I hope it makes sense.
Marion says the frustration bit makes sense. Intriguing about this man. Indeed. And you live in hope. And you're very welcome. Bryony, I just very quickly pulled for you. Older male, generally a senior male, dad, granddad, very positive energy around you or influence around you. Listen to them if they're giving you advice, because it's the right advice to take. There is a gentleman that's coming. He's coming for you. If you've not already got an understanding who this knight is, he's going to turn up soon. And all's good. All's good in the future. Look at that happy family. No pressure or anything, but just saying. So all super positive that I've got. But there is the older male in a...
one of your cards in backwards then.
Oh, did I? Is this male somebody that you know, but you're questioning whether you should go for it or not because it's a friend, and you were saying about lack of confidence, holding back.
Yeah, but I wasn't 100% convinced that the energy entering was masculine. But I wasn't sure how to touch on that.
Okay. Doesn't necessarily have to be. I kind of know what you're saying.
My cards felt like it was a potential of the making of two minds, whether you've got some sort of, I don't know what it is, there's a venture that involves somebody else. I picked it up as a more feminine energy, kind of girl powery sort of thing.
Doesn't mean that it's
but
not.
But then when you said
the
male coming, I thought, oh, maybe I misread that.
I don't know. It doesn't mean that the information isn't for you. It just means that we've picked up on two different bits of information. Because it's not a proper reading. It's like a super quick.
Yeah, they're a little bit. They're a little bit random, but yeah, we'll take a couple of minutes just to, if you guys just confirm if they're all right.
I'm saying that it's I'm getting male energy, to be fair. But could be a female with a masculine brain. Somebody who is more of a protector than a nurturer. But I don't think it is. I think it's a male.
Right. We'll start wrapping it up. Thank you for joining us, guys. We really appreciate it. This is actually episode number
13.
Dun, dun, dun.
Lucky 13.
That's why we should have done hexes and curses.
Well, it doesn't matter.
No.
We can do that next week.
Yeah, so next week we'll look at hexes and curses and anything else we come up with throughout the week. We'll have a think. It's just the Sunday share.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like I say, thank you for joining us.
Keep your eye out for the post when the reading room is open. All are welcome.
I thought you were going to say something else then.
I was, but I forgot. It's the end of the day. I'm quite tired. And hopefully by next Sunday share, we'll be able to share my news.
Yeah. Well, by next Sunday share, we'll have had one solo show by me, talking about men and emotions, one solo reading show by you.
Yeah.
So that should be good. Ah, there's all the love hearts. Look at it. Look at the love.
Oh, we feel loved. Who is it? I can't see.
I can't do it. Can't put my fingers right.
I can't do it the Korean way. The Koreans do it like that. That's a love heart.
That's because they make everything small and cheap.
No, it's just quicker. Don't
Right.
be moody. Thank you all, lovely, lovely people, for putting up with us again. For those of you that we didn't say hello to, we apologise. Hello to you. Anyway, more hearts, super dupes.
So yeah, as always, thanks for watching and share it. Share the post. We're sort of getting around the 170, which is not massive figures at all. I'd kind of like to see us
Except
just...
our location one, we've got 260 on that.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
You all clearly like it when we go out, but it's raining, so
Yeah,
we're
it's
not
thrown
doing
it
that
down.
until it's sunny again.
Not a chance. So yeah, just as always, guys, a like and a share is always massively appreciated.
And if you want to listen back but you can't watch, go to Spotify, iTunes, Anchor.
Yeah, they're all the old
All of the
shows
old
are on
ones
there.
are on there as podcasts, so you can listen to in the car or while you're cooking dinner. And similarly with our YouTube, you can go and watch.
I was going to say something then, I forgot.
I'm sorry,
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
talked over you again. I forgot. Can't help it. Is it about the next show?
No, it was about... Oh, yeah, if you've had a reading, you can put a review on the actual Wiccan Warriors page. So it'd just be nice if people kind of went on there and put a little review and some stars. That'd be cool. Thanks.
Yeah,
Tim.
it would.
Right, should we go?
Yeah.
We've been wrapping up for ages.
Yeah, I'm bored of you now. We'll go back into another room and ignore each other.
Right, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you, lovely
We will
people.
see you in the week.